Blvq Iris is a rapper, songwriter, producer, entrepreneur, all of that. And really what I'm trying to be is just like an all-round artist. Like I wanna, because I'm such a control freak, I like having like control over how I present my art, what it's talking about, what it says. And then the name came from, it's a funny story because I used to have a lot of weird names when I was still like figuring out this rap thing. I had a lot of weird names. And then one day I just came across this painting. She painted like a picture, like it was like a plant, the Blvq Iris plant. But the way it looked like inside of a woman. And then her story behind the painting was that whatever perspective the viewer has of your art piece, always remember what you intended to showcase from it initially. So that's how, like, for me, like, I'm very open to like listening to what people thought I was trying to say or the intention behind it. But I always try to tell them like this is actually what it is, so that for me I started writing music not putting it out there, but just providing sanity and just expressing myself. So yeah, that's how the name Blvq Iris came about. Shit. To be honest, bro, like I started writing music since I was like 12, but I wouldn't write my music. I would write like Eminem lyrics.
Yeah.
That's the man that like inspired me to be like, yo, I can actually do this thing. So being like in a concert and him performing and seeing how people reacted, like realizing how I'm reacting for someone who doesn't even know me. Like that was like, I got home and I was like, this is something that I want to do. I want to be where he was standing. So I started buying his CDs. And back in the day, like when you had CDs, like the lyrics would be in the back of the thingy. So I started practicing to rap by rapping him what he was saying. So every time he raps, I'll be reading the lyrics and rapping along. And then I kept on doing it. And then when I actually realized, okay, like I could actually do it, a cousin of mine, I rapped one of his lyrics to her. And she was like, you can actually rap. The fact that you can get Eminem's lyrics right, Eminem specifically, that means that you can rap. Just try and write your own shit. And then I started writing my own lyrics, and then that's when it started. Well, like, Hood Chronicals is not good, and it's not really like a very popular town in Cape Town, especially with music. It's a very small town. I would say what represents me in terms of my hood is just like my attitude. A lot of people, or people that I've been around, like from high school, like friends, Cape Town people are very like expressive. You know what I mean? And culture as well, like people in my high school, like no one was holding back what they were saying, how they were saying it. If they don't like you, they don't like you. If they love you, they love you. Like they're very open about it. And I think that also kind of represents me in a way because I'm very open and honest about things that I like, things that I don't like, things that I don't fuck with. And I would say that that attitude of just being true to yourself and being straight to it is something that I would say I get from being from culture. Yeah. This nigga. Okay, my mom is 100% behind me. support it. Even when, because I used to want to be an actress first. So even with that, she was always like behind me, backing me. And then my dad was the one who took a bit of convincing. So I told him like I want to do music, but I do want to study, but I do want the main thing is music. And he was just like, he never really bought it. Like every time you talk about you want to be doing this, you want to be politics, and you're like, I'm just sitting there like that's not what I want to do. And then so what I started doing to convince him was like I started doing events. I started. Because I also paint. So I started painting and showing him the paintings. I started painting at home, like in the house, like that. I started getting gigs and he realized, okay. And I would tell him, like, okay, continue what I'm doing there. And that's when he was like, okay, I see you. Because you know, black parents, like, you can't just, you have to show, especially with music, like, you need to show them, okay, Planyam is like this for this thing. And so far, this is what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. Then when they start realizing that you're working towards it, they're like, okay, I got you. So ever since my dad started seeing me doing events and building and all of that, then he was like, okay, nah, I see you. Well, damn, man, that's a very loaded question. Yo, imagine SA rappers currently, if I'm being particularly honest, are not inspiring me in the sense of creatively, because everyone's trying to do the same thing. There's only like one guy who I could say like the way he just takes risks and explores different sounds. He just doesn't give a fuck about like whether it's what's working now, you know. Yeah, sometimes here and there, you know, people have their opinions and stuff, but I just like the fact that how he's always just doing the most creatively, you know, and that's one thing he inspires me. And that's it, to be honest, unfortunately. But in terms of like internationally, the one artist who is my biggest inspiration would be Mr. Kanye West. Like, that man, you know, he has his troublesome moments, but that guy is very smart. And the way he thinks, like creatively, the way he comes up with things, even musically, the way he comes up with his beats, like, I've always dreamed of having a song produced by him, especially with the African elements he adds to it, because I always want to try and bring my roots back into it. And I'm always like studying the way he makes, when I listen to his songs, like how the beat just gets you, you know what I mean? So my biggest inspiration would be number one, Kanye West. Number two, Kendrick Lamar, just because of storytelling, lyricism, and also the way that the stories are told in the music videos. Also very, very great. Number three would be Eminem, of course. How can I forget the king? And then number four, so number five is next year. I'll just give one more. Number four, actually not tough. Mr. Sean Carter, Jay-Z, businessman. Like, that's insane. Like, it goes with the entrepreneurial side of it, basically. Like, just the way that he's always teaching people from his own mistakes and willing to learn and just pushing rappers, not just the rappers, like to the actual brands and businesses the way that he became. And also just his storytelling is just very inspiring. So yeah, it would be Kanye, Kendrick Lamar, Eminem, Jay-Z, and right now? I would have to say doing everything myself. Essentially because like I said earlier, I'm a control freak. So like I like to be hands on everything that has to do with what I put out. So I design my own cover arts. I'll be the coordinator for all the events that I do. I will make sure that every beat that is made, I was there with the making, or I can adjust the way it was made, and everything I like to control of. Managing my bookings, I'm doing that. I think that for me is the kind of right now the stressful thing, is just being overwhelmed with doing everything at once. Because sometimes, like I have terrible time management, so it's just like having to figure out like, okay, I'm gonna spend so much time working on this, working on that. So for me, it would have to be the having to handle everything myself. Well, ironically enough, the people you have around you is very important because of the name the company keep. I just learned a lot about myself making this project, that I really did hold myself back by putting myself in spaces where people are just also holding me back and not thinking visionary-wise, And also just for people to actually realize that I'm not this tough cookie that I appear to be, because there are songs where I'm vulnerable and I'm talking my shit. And because I'm such a raw artist, you can hear in my voice when I'm rapping that this is like being emotional, and you can hear the anger, you can hear the pain, you can hear the flexing, you know what I mean? And I want people to take away, like, just to be like, okay, so my Sadie is actually more than just this persona of this girl, this Black Iris person. Because I find sometimes people I've never met before will approach me like, oh my gosh, are you Black Iris? And I'm just like, why are you acting like that? I'm like, no, you're this person. I'm just like, and people will be surprised when I'm awkward, because I'm just like, I don't know how to deal with it. You know what I mean? People think I'm this person, man, like, and it's crazy because I hate explaining myself. And I sometimes have to do that because people expect me to just be this person. And then now that you're gonna hear me, like, be honest and vocal, where you hear all sides of me, like, that's gonna be like, okay, this is my Sadie, not Black Iris. You hear me? So, yeah. Oh man, listening to other people's music. If I were that person, how would I have created that project? So definitely listening to people's music, other people's music. And for me, the best part about the song, like creative process aside from the writing, would be mixing. Like tweaking where my vocals are going to do this, where my vocals are going to do that. And just like that creative process for me specifically, and the songwriting is my favorite part. Like, I love bouncing around in my brain and writing a verse, and even especially when I write music for other people, like that's also great, like just to get into that person's head of what they wanted to create. So creating the song from the writing to the mixing of the sounds is my favorite part, the best part. Very loaded question there, eh? What can you expect from Black Iris? Definitely more music, definitely doing more than just music also. Focusing more on expanding my business as an events management company. Doing more gigs, doing more features, and maybe a project or two in the first 6 months. But just definitely mostly expanding my brand, and like making sure that by the time my 3-year plan is in execution, that I've done what I said I was going to do, especially in Cape Town. And yeah, man, just expect more music, more projects, more features, more things that you wouldn't expect from a female artist. I don't like calling myself a female artist, but gender. But yeah, man, just continue to do the unexpected.